for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Hubble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench.
First down, Edmonton with the football. McManus going up top for Eddie Brown. What a catch! Eddie Brown! Touchdown, Edmonton! Penalty markers down all over the field.
Illegal substitution, too many men on the field, Saskatchewan.
From 33 yards out to win the 97th Grey Cup. Ball down, ball through.
What's up, everybody? This is the Football A podcast here. Finally, another episode. I'm going to try to get this thing out today. It is Friday, October 11th. And this is, I would say, an emotional one, because I believe tomorrow, the 12th, Saturday, is the anniversary, 1 year of our first post. What are your emotions right now? I know you're an emotional guy.
Yeah, you know me, big time emotional. Yeah, I'm excited. It's pretty cool that this has gone on for a year, because again, when we started it, it was like, I don't want to call it a joke, but it's kind of a joke. Like we're like, what if we just like started watching the CFL? And it's been a year, and we love it, and we watch basically every game. We're just it's an incredible ride so far.
I mean, you hit it right on the head, right? The joke was like random football games on a Tuesday, just send it to our group chat saying ball, like there's going to be a turnover or something. And turns out the CFL is actually freaking awesome. We've gotten to interview a CFL Hall of Fame media person, plenty of fantastic players, some of the nicest guys, most down-to-earth guys playing ball that you'll meet, and a lot of them played this week. So we've missed a couple weeks. My son, I kind of mentioned it in the Jalen Acklin interview. If you got a chance to listen to that, great. If you haven't, then I suggest you go and do so, because that was very fun. My internet sucked, so that might take away from the experience, but hopefully he's somebody that we'll get to have on again, and just chop it up with, because he was great. And I think it still came through pretty well. We got it. I've never been complimented. I don't think, like we've had YouTube comments for sure, but like on the Reddit specifically saying that like this needs more views and stuff. So that was really nice to hear from everybody. But we're in week 19, 3 weeks left. Everything is kind of into place for the playoffs. Still a couple things left. Winnipeg seemingly has ran away. It's not over. Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan probably most likely to catch them, but Saskatchewan and BC will at least play for home field, home field playoff game here. That'll be Saturday night, and you're in a pretzel for Saturday night.
Yeah, sure. Saturday night is a big so. I don't want to bore everybody too much, but so I'm obviously a West Virginia fan. I'm an Ohio State fan. Saturday night at 7:00, my favorite hockey team, the Leafs, play my hometown team, the Penguins. At 7:30, Ohio State plays Oregon, number 2 versus 3, big time game. Same time, LSU, who's like 13, plays Ole Miss, who's like 7, I think. Or 9.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Big time game. At 8:00, WVU hosts number 11 at home. And at 8:08, my favorite baseball team, the Guardians, have a win or go home game at home against Detroit. Mix all that up. And also at 7:30, we have Saskatchewan going for home field against BC. It's just, I simply don't have enough TVs. I have 3 TVs set up in there. I have my phone and a laptop. But I simply don't have enough TVs.
Certainly not enough screens. You're going to need some blue light glasses. Yeah, this one, yeah. BC goes to Mosaic. That tie is looming so large for Saskatchewan right now for this home field. Yeah, shout out Ottawa. Shout out Jalen Acklin in Ottawa. But yeah, it would be interesting. One of the stats, I've been trying to keep a log of things these last couple weeks. And you see me annoyingly look to the side. Sorry, fans. I'm checking on my newborn son because he is just off screen here. But Yeah, so I think it was since 1945. You have to go back to World War II or just about the end of World War II to the last time a team from Alberta did not, or both teams from Alberta did not um, make the playoffs. Edmonton and Calgary officially out. I believe, yeah, all the spots are taken in the playoffs, but we just got to decide some seating is still available, right? I believe is
Yep.
how
Yep.
what we're looking at with Winnipeg obviously not clinched quite yet, and then Montreal clinched the East, but I guess technically still Toronto could give it up to Hamilton. But pretty unlikely uh
Yeah.
in that case. But Winnipeg, if they win, I mean they're still playing for something. They win, they could lock up the West. All of a sudden, Hamilton's last couple games here get a little hairier for them. So it'll be interesting. I feel pretty comfortable saying everything's just about locked up. But yeah, still Saskatchewan playing in Mosaic. Has BC this weekend. But I mean, BC at 8-8, that's a pretty disappointing spot to be in. I mean, even if you go, I think there's 2 games left for them, 10-8. Um, that's a pretty disappointing from like the preseason hype, I feel like.
Yeah, I think their preseason over under was 11.5. So even if they win out, they lose both of those. And that's not considering. So VA obviously goes down, and that's very easy to say, oh, like that could have derailed the season. But then they bring in Rourke, who, by from everything we've been told, is like the dude, like the future. So
Yeah.
you would think bringing him in would have given them a boost, if anything, and they still have disappointed. So I mean, obviously they're still very talented. I think they can still make noise in the playoffs, obviously, but we'll see. It's been
Right.
disappointing.
It's the offs you can get hot. Speaking of hot,
Yeah,
Winnipeg, 8
yeah.
straight. I tweeted this. And there's something about going into the playoffs hot, which is true, but I mean, if I'm Winnipeg fans, I'm a little bit worried. You've been a little too hot for too long. Maybe that's me being paranoid about some of the teams that like I've rooted for in and like Badgers and that kind of stuff. Like too hot for too long. There's going to be a cooling off game. I think if you're Winnipeg fans, like how I was talking about, I wanted Montreal to maybe drop a couple and kind of get around this time of year, get back on the upslope, in the right trajectory. I think if you're a Winnipeg fan, you might want a loss tonight, Friday night, 7:30.
I'm on the complete opposite side of this argument from you. I understand what you're saying, but I think you got to keep the momentum. You got to stay hot. Confidence for that team, regardless of how bad I think they actually suck, their confidence has to be at an all-time high. Like they literally have barely been touched the last 8 weeks. Like they're playing really well despite the fact that they're not actually good. So I think if I was them, I'd want to keep them. If you can go into the playoffs on a 10, they have 2 games left too. I think if you go in the
Yeah,
playoffs on a 10-game win streak, you gotta just feel like you're invincible. And like in video games, you see like the players get hot. Everybody starts the game hot if you're on a 10-game win streak. Like you're just moving. I don't think there's any way they want to lose.
that's fair. The statistical analysis guy in me though says like eventually this has to come to an end, and the closer
That's
you
a
get to the end of the regular season without it ending, I feel like the more worried you have to be. I mean, luckily if they
It's a fallacy. There's no. It doesn't stack. Each game is its own entity. There's no we have to lose because we won. You still have a 60% chance of winning the next game. There's no. It doesn't stack. It's not a parlay.
You're right. I'm a dumb fan. I agree to this. However, it's how I come to terms and cope with things with Montreal sitting at 11-3-1 this year. They play Monday. That's going to be a tough Monday night game. Bringing in Jalen. Jalen's headed to what he said was his favorite road environment, which that'll be very interesting. But and then we have the battle of the bums in Alberta. Maybe I don't know. That's Saturday
Mm.
afternoon. Is that going to be the least watched game of the year? Maybe.
It'll be up there. I think it might be the least watched game of the year so far. Certainly, there'll be a Week 21 game between. I haven't looked at the schedules, but
Let's
surely
see.
if like Calgary plays Hamilton anytime in the last 2 weeks, nobody's watching that game.
Week 21. Calgary has Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Toronto and Edmonton, that might be it. Because I feel like Hamilton and Ottawa, that's a Friday night. That might get some run Week 21. And then Montreal, Winnipeg, Week 21 going into the end of the year is going to be crazy.
Well, if both teams already have one seed locked up, they don't really care.
That's true.
But
that's true. That's fair. But both bigger fan bases.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of the things we missed, I tried to keep a list. I mean, Justin Rankin going off. Reichel Armstead, what a very interesting thing. Goes for like 200 in the Saskatchewan debut. Then he goes out. Frankie Hickson. Now AJ Ouellette, your boy Thor, is going to be. It seems like he's back after missing. Has it been 3 months? It feels like 3 months.
It's been a long time.
2 months for sure. So it's been a roller coaster. One big piece of news that I think you and I are both very excited about. The Grey Cup.
Yes.
111 here coming up. NBC is going to be on
111.
CBS. Yep, 111 on CBS Sports Network. So American fans, you won't have to be on CFL Plus this year, which is going to be great because I believe it was last year. Might have to double check me, but I know I streamed it on my laptop, so I would assume it had to have been on CFL Plus.
It was only on CFL Plus for us because there's usually college football games on, and I assume there are college football games on. But the fact that CBS is prioritizing the Grey Cup to American college football is pretty cool.
So I double checked the date just now. It's Sunday, November 17th at 5 Central.
Games.
So yeah, they're gonna try to split the middle. Which on CBS, I mean, it's CBS Sports Network and not regular CBS. So I feel like that plays. I think you might be able to steal some viewership in that window. Kind of they'll catch like the fourth, maybe not tuned in right away for the fourth quarter, but they'll be tuned in, for the fourth quarter of the NFL games, the afternoon games ending. But 5 Central, you might see an influx in like that second quarter, halftime, third quarter range. And then if it's, good enough game, hopefully stay through the end. I'm very excited for the Grey Cup this year. Hopefully one of these years we'll find our way there. I know we kind of talked about it, but kiddo number 2 coming this year made it not quite in the cards. I do probably should talk something a little bit polarizing as well. Most outstanding player, my vote I think is in, and I think it's your guy Roland Milligan. I don't know how you feel. But I would like to hear if you have an opinion on that.
Yeah, it's such a weird year, man. It's such a weird year for for that award because it feels like everybody who's been like a real candidate has gotten hurt. I think it's probably him. Because I don't think it's any of the quarterbacks. I don't think it's any of the running backs. I really don't think it's any wide receiver. I think it has to be.
It's tough. I mean, Bo Levi, he is the leading all-star or all-CFL vote getter right now, 4,500 yards. He's probably going to – the 10 questions, by the way, that's going to be fun to do, I think, week 21. I don't know if we want to –
Yeah.
I think we should probably just do it preemptively for week 21 because we should have most of the answers, and maybe there's a couple that could lean either way. But
let's do it.
I know without a 5,000-yard passer, I would imagine Bo Levi will end up being will be hitting that, and I think we both said no to that. He's got 26 touchdowns, leads the league, but Caleros only 16 touchdowns. Fajardo obviously was out. Drew Brown not enough touchdown passes. So I don't think there's a quarterback that could win it.
Trevor Harris was out. Show some respect.
Yeah, my bad. That's hand up. That's on me. Rushing touchdowns. The top, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is great radio. So the top 5 players with rushing touchdowns are all short yardage quarterbacks. David Mackey, who's for BC fullback, if you will. The running back with the most rushing touchdowns, there's actually 2 of them. It's Javon Leake for Edmonton and Kadeem Carey with 6, which is somewhat disappointing. So it's like Brady has 1,250. He's going to have more yards. Stanback's at 11-12. I feel like if Rock Armstead would have played the whole year in Ottawa, maybe you could talk about him. But at the same time, Brady doesn't really have the touchdowns. I just feel like when it comes to the 8 interceptions and all of the stats that the special teams tackles, everything that Milligan has in his pocket, I feel like it just, at this point right now, barring like 200-yard, 3-touchdown performance from Brady, the Canadians might be clamoring for it, but I think it's got to be Roland Milligan.
I would agree. I think you're right. I'd be curious to see. I don't know if they released like a vote breakdown of like what percentage of votes this guy received versus other people. Because I know like for the Heisman here in college football, they released like, oh, he got this percentage of first place votes. I'd love to see that breakdown whenever it comes out because I think it's going to be a weird number.
Well, I know we kind of got the awards kind of late, obviously, last year. Like we didn't get to go through a whole process, but they do like the by person. They do like, or sorry, not by person, by like team, right? They have a guy that's their guy of the 9 guys, and then I think it gets voted on from there. But I don't know the voting process of those 9 guys because each team has a guy that they put forward as their most outstanding player, and then that's, I believe, the pool that it gets picked from. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you go through every team, I don't know that like Milligan is just as worthy as anybody else.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe Brady, and that's what I'm sure Canadians would like to see. But I just, at this point, hand it to him, especially if he ends up with like another INT. Like if he plays well this week, I think he locks it up.
I hope he does. I hope you're right, and I hope he does.
But like you would think like if he maybe adds a 9th interception, he's already, let's see, I mean he's 5th in tackles. I would assume like he's gonna probably end up with 100 tackles, which is crazy to think about. So 5th in tackles, obviously leads the league in picks. A couple other stats here and there. I think he's going to end up leading with the in special teams tackle, I would assume, because he's got like 19. So yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel. If he plays big this weekend, secures home field at Mosaic for Saskatchewan, I think it's got to be him.
Yeah, I hope so. So.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there anything over the last couple weeks that we've been in and out and gone and whatnot that you want to talk about in specific?
Nothing specific. I'm excited that we hit a year. I'm excited for this little stretch here before the playoffs, and I'm excited to get into the damn playoffs. Everybody loves the playoffs. It's been a tough couple months with college football and the NFL starting up. There's a lot of stuff take time. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to get this playoffs because I feel like it amps back up. Feels like in kind of a lull here because it feels like most of the races are wrapped up outside of, like you said, seeding, and it hasn't really been that close for a while. So I'm excited to get into the offs.
Absolutely, especially like it's 3 rounds technically. I mean, you have semifinals, finals, and then the Grey Cup. Like it's do or die. So these guys have been playing forever. I'm excited to see how this stuff goes. So, you want to do, for the first time in a long time, some picks, my dude, for this
Sure,
week?
if you have the lines.
I think I can find it. Okay. Give me this great radio that we're doing. Luckily, we haven't found our way into our normal geopolitics, so I think I'll just be able to post this episode on the double.
I can talk about
some
geopolitics if you want.
I think we're good. All right, let's start with tonight. Toronto.
Wait. I do have a geopolitical question.
No, boy.
I'm just curious, media coverage wise.
Ooh.
So like this hurricane just hit Florida. 2 of them.
Okay,
actually,
this is
crushed Florida. I'd be curious to see how much coverage do you guys get in other countries of that, because like this, I have a friend. So when I was in high school, we hosted a German exchange student. I've been meaning to ask him this question, but I figure it's probably easy to just ask Canadians. You're right there. You might hear more than Germans, but how much coverage do you guys get of hurricanes that are taking our cities out that obviously don't touch you guys. I'd be curious. Please,
Yeah.
somebody let us know. That's our geopolitics talk of the day.
All right, yeah, no, that's a lot better. I thought I was going to have to edit something. That's a good question.
No.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Toronto heads to Winnipeg. 4.5 is the line. Over under 49.5 tonight in Winnipeg at Princess Auto Stadium.
I'll never pick Winnipeg. I'll never pick Winnipeg. Toronto with the points, trying to keep a playoff, trying to lock up the playoffs, ward off Hamilton, and Winnipeg can afford to lose this game and still be in first. So
Yeah,
I think Toronto's hungry.
I agree. I think Winnipeg trying to secure the division is that levels out the hungriness. But if you're going to give me a field goal, if you tell me this game's going to come down to a field goal, I think Toronto's going to keep it close because they have to.
Yeah.
That being said, me saying that out loud makes me think Winnipeg is going to absolutely shred them now. But I'm going to take. I already took Toronto. I think I took them 3.5 earlier. Now it's 4.5. So
even better.
Losing out on some value there. We'll head to Saturday, the battle for Alberta. Also, it's Thanksgiving. I meant to say this. It's Thanksgiving weekend in Canada. Monday is Thanksgiving, the 14th.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, I try to do some research. I don't fully understand the history, so maybe we have to get one of our good friends, our Canadian friends, on to explain a little bit more. But we'll start with the Battle of Alberta on Saturday. I'm seeing plus 1.5. I already took Edmonton money line. Actually, they shredded Calgary in the back-to-back over Labor Day weekend. Trey Ford is starting. And at this point, I don't think there's any reason to believe in Calgary.
Yeah, I've been on Edmonton all year. I'm going to keep being on Edmonton. Money line, what minus the points, everything.
Love it. All over the board. BC, Saskatchewan. I got this game at a pick'em. It's now Saskatchewan -1. And take it away.
Rough Riders. No doubt about it. We're locking up home field. We'll just make sure the rematch in 3 weeks happens here rather than in BC. Make it happen, guys.
I love it. Hopefully, I also took Saskatchewan to win this game. Probably a bad sign that we're on the same side of everything here. But yeah, Milligan probably can win the MOP if he has a great game. Would say he's pretty likely to have a good game. And if you're going to give me a team to win just by one, AJ starting running back reps. They're kind of getting warm. They've won a couple of games. They cashed the win total. I think Saskatchewan's the right play there. Nothing. I don't see anything for, at least that's my book. I suppose I could go try to use a different one for Monday, but that might be too far out. I don't know.
What book do you use?
I'm not gonna say out loud.
I'll look on my books. Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna say out loud just because I don't need to incriminate myself later on. In case it's you literally work for the Internal Revenue Service, so I don't feel comfortable saying out loud. I'm
Montreal minus 4.5 is the line.
Yes, that's what I see. Give me no Pickett still for Ottawa. That sucks. Yeah, give me the hometown boys, Montreal. They're still playing. I need Fajardo to go off in yards, so give me Montreal.
I want to support our close personal friend Jalen Ackland, but
that's fair.
I think we're gonna go Montreal. I think I'm also gonna go Montreal here.
I don't know if you can bet props, but he likes playing here in Montreal. So I think Jalen could have a good game. He's going to be at least in the CFL fantasy for me this year.
True. I bet you could if we just get the Vegas of Canada on the line. I'm sure we could get some props.
I love it. All right. The last thing, the Grey Cup odds. I texted you. I'm seeing Ottawa on FanDuel plus 1,500. I think that's crazy. I think that's the best value on the board.
You're going to waste money. It's a surefire way to burn money. Ottawa's not winning the Grey Cup.
But
they are not winning the Grey Cup.
When it comes to gambling value, why not? I don't see why not. Drew Brown, if he's healthy, and they win
the Grey Cup.
What? Okay. Why? Let me ask you this way: why? Well, first of all, your Rough Riders are plus 1100, so maybe you should take it up. Maybe you should get pissed over that. But BC being plus 500,
I don't think we have a chance to win the Grey Cup either.
love that. BC being plus 500 and Ottawa being plus
Yeah.
1500. That price difference to me is crazy. Based on, I mean, the records. Technically, Ottawa has a better record. BC, I would argue, in the West has a tougher, between Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, has a way tougher road than Ottawa. Like between Toronto, I mean, yeah, Montreal is the best team by record in the league, but we have our injuries and that kind of stuff. I don't see why, like, Ottawa couldn't. I don't get why that path is so much harder for Ottawa.
I don't. I think the path to get there is a lot easier for. This is like it's like the old Jordan LeBron. So like they always said LeBron was really easy to get through the East, and then he had to face a juggernaut in the final, whereas Jordan had played a bunch of hard teams in the East, and then he got to the finals and he played a cakewalk. That is this. Like, if you make it through the West and you got to get through BC, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg, whoever comes out of there is really good. The other side, Montreal is good, but I don't think Ottawa's good. I don't think Toronto's that good. Like, it's kind of easy. Montreal should sleepwalk. Granted, they only have to play one game, but I'm saying they should sleepwalk over both those teams. They don't really have to try.
Wow. All right. Sounds good. Well, I mean, we've been on, I think this is, I don't know how long we've been going. Long enough to at least get something out to the folks. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. The compliments and everything. Oh, we got an email from a guy, the Montreal fan who was not a fan of you. Not like
my apologies for. I don't mean to.
Wow, you're soft. You're going to go back?
Geopolitics here. We'll get into some more geopolitics. Americans and I don't want to say the real French people, but Americans and people from France don't like each other. We don't like them. They don't like us. That's how it is. I took my dislike of the French out on French Canadians. That wasn't fair. French Canadians, I have no issue with you. I dislike the real French people, the people from France.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think that's fair. I think
that's fair. That's
all right. Yeah. Hey, I was expecting. I was expecting you were. I was worried you got a little soft on me. So yeah, I like that you can.
No.
All right. I like that you made that distinction. So sounds good. All right. This has probably been enough of us just rambling on here. Please continue to support us. We appreciate the heck out of it because you guys are too kind. You Canadians are too kind. Subscribe, like, share, tell your friends. Because the more you do that, and I know sometimes it can be annoying. Trust me, I'm somebody who used to be subscribed to YouTube channels and click subscribe, and it's like, don't tell me what to do. I get it, but the way that we can make this better so that I'm not watching a newborn and then have my background being my curtains and a empty Mountain Dew can, and Ant has his West Virginia flag, and the production value goes up. The way for all of that to get better is for you to share and tell your friends. If you tell your friends and they say, I can't believe you like that, that sucks, I'll live with that. I can live with that every day of the week because that makes you a better person and a more special person to me. So how about that?
Yeah, what he said.
Sounds good, everybody. Well, have a happy Thanksgiving, Canada. We will, you know what, Monday, I'm going to eat a turkey leg.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes. Oh, I should mention that the logos were sick. Thank you for reminding me because that would be really unfair. Because we definitely have our own problems with the way we've treated. I don't want to say Native Americans. Wrong, but yeah, but Indigenous people, or however I'm supposed to say that. I hope it comes off genuinely that we've treated them poorly here as well. We should celebrate them here more as well. Could you imagine 32 NFL logos similarly? That was cool though.
That would actually be sweet.
The CFL did it was all like local artists that designed those. So that was really cool. I thought the Owls one was really sick. Saskatchewan's with the
stained glass.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
yeah, it was good.
Thank you for reminding me of that because that would have been shitty of me. So yeah. This has been the Football Podcast.
We'll have a turkey leg on Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday for Canada and for Indigenous peoples.
For Thanksgiving on Monday. And yeah,
For
give me
Canada.
for all of
Yeah,
Canada.
for
All
Canada.
of we love all of Canada.
Except the French
Canada?
part.
Well, God damn it. Now you went and did it. All right, everybody. This has been the Football at 8 podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Share with everybody. We love you, and we'll see you next week.